In this video, we're going to cover the 4 most important things to consider before buying your first or next ukulele. So today I'm joined by Mike, who runs the awesome ukulele shop Uke Republic, and he's going to be sharing his knowledge with you guys, and he's going to be talking about 4 really important things that you should consider before buying an ukulele. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to him to talk about what those are. Okay, so I'm actually going to start us off on this. So the first thing that you want to consider is budget, and we're going to look at it from 2 points of views. The first point of view is size, because if we look at the 3 main sizes for ukulele, it's going to go soprano, then to concert, which is a little bit bigger than this, and then to tenor. And you can see the big difference. It's quite large compared to soprano. Now generally, soprano is going to give you that traditional ukulele sound that you just associate with Hawaii. And if you go to the larger size, it's going to get a little bit deeper in tone. Now another good rule of thumb is that soprano is also going to be the most affordable to get into. And it's a pretty logical reason why. You can see that it's just smaller, so they have less to build. So the second point we're going to look at is going to be price points. So we're going to break down ukuleles into 4 separate price points, or 4 distinct price points. And we're going to put it up on the screen in just a second. And what you're going to notice is that when you spend from this amount to this amount, you're going to get, for example, a laminate ukulele. But if you spend a little bit more, you can get a solid wood ukulele. And since Mike knows all about this, I'm going to hand it off to him to talk about the differences.
All right, as Drew pointed out, there are 4 price points that we're focusing on. The first one is going to be a price point that will get you in from anywhere up to about $180. And that's going to be a quality laminate ukulele. So, for example, we have this Islander here. This is a laminate acacia wood, excellent instrument, and a great place to start. Okay, so the second wood choice you're going to get is something with a solid top, meaning this wood is solid all the way through and not a laminate. This instrument is an Ohana, it's a soprano, and it ranges somewhere starting out around $180, but you could go up to maybe closer to $300. So depends on the instrument, but this is beautiful laminate willow wood, gloss finish, excellent instrument. So a question you may have is, what is the difference between a laminate wood instrument and a solid top wood instrument tonally? Well, the solid top wood has more sonic values, meaning it's generally got more richness, sustain than an all laminate instrument. Nothing wrong with an all laminate instrument. It can sound fantastic as well. But generally speaking, and again this is general, the solid top will give you even more tonal flavor. So the next price point we'll look at is a range of $300 to $800. That's going to get you an all solid wood instrument, and this is a tenor size. This is by Koaloha, and it's in their Opio range, and it's solid acacia, beautiful instrument. So a question you may have is, why choose an all solid wood instrument? Well, tonally speaking, they have a richer sound and more interesting character to the tone. Another interesting thing about a solid wood instrument, in time, it opens up and develops even more character. Okay, so the next price point we'll consider is going to be the $800 and up range. Now in that, you're going to get, of course, solid wood instruments, along with custom instruments, instruments that are inlaid, instruments made in USA, and small boutique instruments. They sound wonderful, they're unique. For example, this is a Kanilea with solid Hawaiian koa, and it has a UV gloss finish. Just wonderful.
All right, so I'm going to kick us off with point number 2, which is going to be sound. And to me, this is the most important point, along with point 3, but we'll get to point 3 in a second. So with sound, I actually want to show you guys a couple clips. So in the last point, we talked about different prices. Now, my first ukulele that I owned was a Makala. It's a $50 laminate ukulele. And one of the 2 Kanileas that I own now is priced at $1,000. So I want you guys to take a listen to what a $50 laminate ukulele compares to a $1,000 koa. So all 3 sides, front, back, and side, is koa wood. and you'll be quite surprised by how nice each of them sound. So what I want us to look at, and Mike's actually going to talk about this, we're going to look at a bright sounding ukulele versus a more mellow sounding ukulele, and which are the common woods that are associated with bright, which are the common woods that are associated with mellow.
One thing that I really love about ukuleles are all the wood choices, and you probably like that too. But it can be confusing if you're not familiar with them. So we'll talk about a few different tone woods to make this simple, going from the brighter woods like a spruce top to the more darker tone woods or more mellow tone woods like mahogany. So just a quick sound sample so you can hear what they're like.
So the third point we're going to talk about, I think, is equally as important as the second point, and that is playability. Now the big thing that comes with playability is a setup. Is your ukulele set up? Here's the problem with that. If you buy from Amazon, those are just going to come in a box. They were shipped from the manufacturer to the Amazon warehouse, which just sits there and then they ship it to you. They aren't set up. You're not going to get a ukulele that's set up by the manufacturer until you hit a really high price point. And Mike, what is that price point usually?
$1,000.
$1,000 and up. So when you buy from a mom and pop like Uke Republic, they will take the time and they'll set up every single ukulele. So that entry price point, that $50 laminate, they'll set it up the same way they'll set up an $800 ukulele. Now the other big thing about playability comes down to the neck profile. So what does that mean? Well, in its simplest terms, it's going to mean the size of the neck. So some necks, like this one, which is made by Koloha, they are known to have a thinner neck profile. So take a look at these two necks. One comes in at 4 inches in circumference, while the other is 1/4 of an inch larger. So what does this mean from a playing standpoint? Well, here's the one that was 4 inches. And the thing that you're going to notice when you're playing a thinner neck is that when you tackle harder chords like bar chords, it's going to be a lot easier to fret these tricky chords because it takes a lot less finger strength to get this to ring out on a thinner neck than when you contrast it against a thicker neck. So with a thicker neck, you're going to have to push down much more. So it's going to take a lot more finger strength to get this exact same chord to ring out. Now that's not the only thing that you want to consider. The second thing that you want to think about is your hand size. So children and women tend to have smaller hands than men. So you want to take that into consideration too. Because if you have a smaller hand, it's going to feel a lot more comfortable playing the thinner neck. And the best advice I can give you is to actually go to a local music shop and try out different brands. So we're going to put a list as well on here of brands that are known to have thinner necks and brands that are known to have thicker necks, so you can get a good idea of what you're about to walk into. And it comes down to preference. It's which one do you like? So only you can answer that question. And there's one last point that we do want to make out, and this is something that I think Mike is going to be able to explain a little bit better than I can.
Hi, so along with neck profile, something you may consider too is the nut width. Now the nut is this section up here that goes across, and on this Koloha, that's 1.5 inches wide. So that makes for a broader string spacing. And some people may favor that, depends on your fingers and what you like. The more common is going to be 1 3/8, and this Pono has that right here at the nut. All right, so the fourth point that we'll consider are the aesthetics or the visual beauty of your ukulele. To contrast and compare, again, you have beautiful wood, but this instrument does not have body binding or rosette or inlays, but it's just the beauty of the instrument itself comes out. And to contrast that with, again, this instrument here, which has body binding. This is Purple Heart. Up on the front, it has purfling, has a rosette. You have ebony with abalone position markers. Down at the bottom, you've got this nice little seam binding over the top, so it looks really nice. And of course, a cutaway and a slot head. So this has a lot of features in ukulele.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it quite useful in your search for your next ukulele. So Mike, tell them, how can they contact you if they have more questions or they want some extra help?
Easy, just contact us at Uke Republic. You can email me, Mike M, at ukerepublic.com.
And last but not least, if you're watching this video in October, November, or December of 2019, well, we're actually giving away a custom Ukulele ukulele. Can you hand me one?
Oh.
So check this out. This could be yours. And the cool thing is that we're giving away $1,500 if you join our challenge. So click this link right here. If you join our challenge in either October, November, or December of 2019, you could win $1,500 towards designing your very own ukulele. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Mike or to me. And if you're new to rockclass101.com, take a second to stop by and check out this site. We're a community for the ukulele enthusiast who's passionate about learning ukulele.